This situation jeopardizes my marriage and I just need an outside opinion. So I, 24 female, am married to my husband Matthias, 37, for 3 years, together on and off for 5 years. We decided to get married because I wanted to call him my husband and our church wanted us to, as we've been together for so long. We moved into an apartment my parents bought for us as a wedding gift. After a couple of years I was sick, and I mean sick, of living in our tiny apartment. I loved the little home we built together, but we just didn't have enough space. As I was advancing in my career, we became financially stable enough to support our dreams of having a big family. We started looking for a house and finally found one that suited our needs. The problem arose while we were packing up the apartment. One big issue we always had while living there was Matthias's extremely large book collection. It was a common sore spot in our marriage, as he would just keep buying more. We had one bookshelf, but they were everywhere in the apartment when that wasn't sufficient anymore. On the floor, the counters, tables, literally everywhere. It looked like a hoarder's library. Don't get me wrong, his love for books is great, but it was way too much. He refused to get a Kindle or anything like that, so when we closed the deal on the new house, I was so happy this years-long mess would be resolved. I told him from the very start that he would have to pack up all the books. They were his mess, so he had to clean it up. As time passed on and everything was getting packed, the books still stayed in their places. I kept telling him if he didn't pack them soon, I would get rid of them all. He kept saying he would, but it never happened. Quite literally, a week before we moved out, almost everything else was packed up and ready to go. Matthias decided it was the perfect time to go on a little boy's trip for a few days, even though I begged him to stay in case there was an issue with the new house. He said it would be fine because I would be here, and I just gave up as I didn't want to start a big argument. I told him they would be gone when he came home if he didn't pack them up before he left. He pretty much brushed me off, giving me a, "Yeah, right." He left, and over the next couple of days, with the help of my brothers, 26 and 29, we donated all the books. Now the problem is, Matthias is back, and he screamed at me until I had to call one of my older brothers to pick me up, who I'm staying with now. Matthias is now messaging and calling me with threats of divorce, and I need to know if I was wrong for this. You are the idiot. You never throw out another person's things if they don't want you to. That's never acceptable. You don't need to pack them up for him or move them for him. You should have done nothing about the books instead. They're his things, his responsibility. He's also acting irresponsibly, but that doesn't change the fact that what you did is wrong. Oh man, I'm a book lover. You got rid of his books? Evil. But I changed my mind. Your husband is not a book collector. He's a hoarder. He's got books scattered all over the house and he won't take responsibility for them. He won't take responsibility while you're living together, and he won't even take responsibility while you're moving. Forget the books. A 32-year-old man dating a 19-year-old woman is an immediate red flag. A full-grown man dating a literal teenager, and the church was pushing for the marriage. And they got married after 2 years of on and off dating because they'd been together so long, and they wanted to call him her husband like, it's not some special title, he's no royalty. Yuck, I'm trying to retrieve my eyeballs from the back of my head. I think I rolled them too hard. Matthias is going to be a controlling freak. I doubt his reaction to the books is the first time he's behaved aggressively towards you. That's why as a 30-something-year-old he went after a teenager. Young, impressionable, easily impressed, and easy to manipulate. Consider his threat of divorce as more of a get-out-of-jail-free card because this is not a good man. You are not the idiot. For the record, I know my brother is an idiot. I, 23 female, am a child-free ER nurse. I don't like kids, even if they're related to me. My boyfriend feels the same way. I've always had the stance to friends and family that I will never babysit ever. It's never been an issue until now. My parents rented a cabin this past weekend. The family hadn't gotten together in a long time, and since it was our mom's birthday wish, we took a vacation. In attendance were our parents, my 3 older brothers, my brother David's wife, and their 6 combined kids, 4 of which are just my sister-in-law's kids from a previous marriage, and 2 are hers and David's, including a baby. She and David agreed that he would pay all the bills and that she would do all of the childcare. He does nothing for his kids except play ball with her oldest in the yard sometimes. I think she's dumb for agreeing to this one-sided arrangement, but she's been a stay-at-home mom her entire adult life and has no earning potential, so I guess that's why she agreed to it. On the trip, for some reason, my sister-in-law had it in her head that because I'm a woman close in age, I would help her with her kids the whole time so she could take a break. She kept trying to hand me her baby or would ask me to do stuff for her kids. I would say no every time and tell her to ask her husband. I only went on this trip to spend time with my family, who I rarely see. My parents live 3 states away and I rarely get to see them. By the end of the trip, my sister-in-law would alternate between constantly crying and making rude, snippy comments at me. I feel like it's completely undeserved. I didn't marry her or get her pregnant, and she isn't even related to me. I have no clue why she isn't angry at my brother and not me. He was kind of clear about him being an idiot before she even married him. He told her that he wouldn't change a single diaper, but she decided he would be the man to give her babies number 5 and 6. Am I the idiot? 4 kids under 5? Did she get divorced while pregnant with twins? Jeez, not the idiot, but damn, I hope your sister-in-law gets her tubes tied. That's a lot of kids to manage, especially with a husband who isn't pulling his weight. Tell your sister-in-law that you're both on vacation. The difference is that one of you has kids and the other does not. I could see lending a hand occasionally if she were a single parent, but the fact the kids have both parents there but only one is doing actual parenting is wild. She can be angry all she wants, but it's not your responsibility to step up if your brother refuses to do his part. What would happen if one kid gets hurt and has to go to the ER? Does she have to bring them all with her? She needs to reevaluate her relationship and not be bitter towards you for something you have no part in. The sister-in-law is angry at herself and projecting on OP. She sees OP, who is similar in age, independent, financially secure, and not trapped, and is angry at herself and flinging it at OP. Tell her, just because I have a uterus is no reason to think I'm any more interested in taking care of your kids than your husband. My wife and I got married a year ago. We're both in our early 20s. I love my wife very much. I do everything for her and care for her, and I know she loves me. I never felt ashamed for doing what my wife asked me to. As her husband, I feel like she's my responsibility and it's my duty to take care of her. But her best friend insulted me. Her best friend visits us every few weeks, always did. We aren't close, but we do talk, but not enough to be friends. My wife's best friend and I got along. 3 weeks ago, she came to spend time with my wife. After talking to my wife, she came to the living room and it was just me and her, and my wife was cooking. We were watching the news and, long story short, we started arguing over politics. We went back and forth, but she got angry and we started getting loud. My wife came and saw us arguing. Her best friend got so angry that she started insulting me. I didn't like that, but I kept it civil. Still, she started saying that I'm weak without a backbone. I always hide behind my wife and listen to her all the time. I'm weak and I do not know anything about the real world. I'm basically my wife's puppy who always listens to her, so I should shut up and listen to my wife's command. I was angry, but I just asked her to leave. She said she was sorry for what she said, but I kept asking her to leave. She looked at my wife, and my wife just said it was between you guys, so deal with it. I demanded she leave right away, and she finally left. I felt awful for what she said, so I went to my wife to talk to her and asked her if you thought the way she thought. My wife said to ignore what her best friend said. I am not her puppy or anything like that. I'm her husband, and she couldn't have found a better husband, and she's glad I'm with her. We spent the night together, and my wife said she talked to her friend and she would always be by my side. But yesterday, her best friend visited again, saying she came to apologize. I politely said that I'm still angry at her and that it would be better if we didn't escalate. What you said was extremely disrespectful. I love my wife and will always love her, but that doesn't mean I'm a puppy, and for you to consider me one is disgusting. She said she was extremely sorry for what she said in her anger and didn't mean it. I asked her to leave. My wife said, it's between you both, deal with it once again. Later, my wife said I should forgive her best friend and I shouldn't think about whatever she said. I am her husband, so no matter my decision, she will support me and always choose me over everything else. And if I want to, she'll ask her best friend to never come to our home. Now I wonder if I should forgive the best friend, ask my wife to cut her off, or not allow her in my house. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, but your wife is wrong. It's not between you and her friend. She's friends with somebody who openly disrespects you. Staying neutral isn't actually neutral here. Ask your wife how she would respond if one of your friends disparaged her. I can't get over all that your wife had to say was, it's between the two of you. I would lose my mind if I ever heard anyone, friend, family, stranger, talk to my husband like that. She came into your house and disrespected you. You don't owe her anything. Personally, I wouldn't talk to her again and I would be upset with my spouse for not having my back. And honestly, what kind of insults were they? She's demeaning you for loving her friend, putting her first, listening to her, and doing things for her. Sounds to me like she's jealous, and if she sticks around, this won't be the last time she causes problems. Not the idiot for kicking out the disrespectful guest from your home, but I do see the humorous irony in you getting angry for being called weak, and then the first thing you immediately do afterward is ask your wife for validation. I had a friend growing up who had an unhealthy relationship with a girl who used him, and while we used a different word than weak, it can be used interchangeably. He would get incredibly angry when we said that. It kind of makes me think he knew it was true, and that's why it bothered him that much. My 34 female husband, 36, and I have been married for 8 years, and we've worked hard to build a comfortable life for ourselves. We both have steady jobs and recently bought a new home. My husband's sister, Lily, 29, has always been a bit of a free spirit, jumping from job to job and relationship to relationship. Recently, Lily lost her job and broke up with her boyfriend, leaving her in a tough financial situation. She asked if she could move in with us for a few months until she gets back on her feet. Here's the thing, this wouldn't be the first time Lily has lived with us. About 3 years ago, she stayed with us for 6 months when she was in a similar situation, and it was a nightmare. She didn't contribute to rent, groceries, or bills, and her stay dragged on for much longer than promised. She'd leave her stuff all over the house, use our things without asking, and even bring random people over without giving us a heads up. I tried to set boundaries, but she always acted like I was being unreasonable. When she left, my husband and I agreed that we wouldn't go through that again. So when she asked to move back in, I said no. I offered to help her in other ways, like loaning her some money or helping her look for a new job, but I don't want to live with her again. My husband understands where I'm coming from. Still, he's conflicted because it's his sister and he feels responsible for helping her. Now Lily is upset, saying I'm being selfish and that families should help each other in times of need. My husband is stuck in the middle and I'm starting to feel like maybe I'm the one being unreasonable. Am I the idiot for refusing to let her move in? Not the idiot. Hold firm and don't let her in. You'll regret it regardless of what she says now. It will be difficult to get her out again, and it may affect your marriage when you see your husband continue to waffle on the issue. I've seen folks like her. They count on others to make up for their deficiencies. If she knows living with you is completely off the table, then she can either accept the help you're offering on your terms or become an independent adult. People like Lily call themselves free spirits, often even saying outright they could never work a 9-to-5 job as it would fence them in, etc., etc. Yet they have zero problem with taking advantage of the things that the steady workers, like OP and husband, have acquired thanks to their hard work. Let's say OP allowed Lily to stay temporarily again. Who's to say this same situation won't pop up again in another couple of years? Where does the obligation to the family end? Right? Also, family helps family. When has Lily ever helped her family? Every time someone throws out that line, it's one-sided. Tough love is a way for families to help each other. Lily needs to learn that lesson. She needs to become self-reliant instead of expecting family and boyfriends to bail her out. An irresponsible person would never learn how to become responsible if there's always a soft landing. My son is almost 23 and his girlfriend is 21. They've been together for 6 years now. They have their own place. His girlfriend is studying architecture. My son graduated this year and works for his girlfriend's family's company. Her family really loves him, especially her dad. He even lived in their house for a time before he and his girlfriend got their own home. From what I was aware, they've always had a loving, stable relationship. That changed when his girlfriend reached out to me all of a sudden. She said she wanted to talk about my son and needed some help. Advice. Of course, I said, let's hear it. She started telling me about how, from essentially the beginning of their relationship, he was unfaithful. At first, they were short flings, situations he'd apologize, say he'd never do it again, she'd forgive him because she loved him so much, and repeat. But they've evolved from short flings to actual affairs for the past couple of years. His attitude has become bolder and shameless, acting like he's entitled to also be with other women. He'd tell her things such as, "Why are you jealous? You know I'd never leave you and you're the main one. Stop being so insecure. Only insecure people are jealous. Am I not treating you well, neglecting you, etc.?" She believed these things and tried to put up with them for a while, forcing herself to believe it was no big deal and that she was confident and fine. That act doesn't work anymore. She's feeling very hurt, and those thoughts are eating her alive. I asked her if her parents knew. She said she told them, but they didn't want to believe her, so she turned it on her, asking what she lacked even if it was true. He's an amazing man, hardworking, handsome, smart, etc. She feels like no one listens to her, so she reached out to me as she thought a man-on-man talk with my son may influence things. Apparently he's pretty dismissive of women. I had a one-on-one talk with him. He's an incredibly difficult person. He just justified his actions. He has no signs of wanting to change his ways. So I told the girlfriend, you deserve someone better. End it. There's no way you can build a life with this guy. She hasn't broken up with him though. My wife thinks I crossed the line interfering like that between them, and according to her, I should always take my son's side since blood is thicker than water. I don't agree with that at all. Not the idiot, and your son and his in-laws are morally garbage people. The funny thing is, he's not even successful in his own right. He works for his in-laws. I don't know, reading that whole story just made me sick to my stomach. I feel so bad for your future daughter-in-law. She's put up with so much crap from your son and her parents. Thank goodness she has someone on her side, regardless of what she decides to do with her relationships. I'm side-eyeing your wife here too, blindly supporting her son as unfaithful. It couldn't be me. To be honest, your wife's reaction is even more worrisome. What else would she defend her son from? Fraud? Theft? OP, I would take one step further if I were you and offer to help her get out. At the very least, he's emotionally abusing her. Help her get away from him as she wants to because her family is not going to help her. In fact, they want her to stay with her abusive, unfaithful boyfriend. What awful parents she has. Ask your wife what she would do if her daughter was treated that way by her boyfriend. Bet her answer would be wildly different.